Nobody move.
Nobody gets hurt.
I'm Nick G.
I'm Mike D.
And this is Good Cop, Bad Cop. I'd like to thank our sponsors today, Pop McCann Whiskey, smoothest drink in the land. Grab your bottle today at popsmcannwhiskey.com. Also like to thank Friends of Martina White. Visit votemartina.com for more information about the work Martina has been doing as state representative of Pennsylvania. We would also like to thank our sponsor, Beyond Creative. If you're ready to take your online presence to the next level, visit beyondocreative.com or call 267-362-WEB1 to discuss your project. And our title sponsor, AR Law, arjusticenow.com. We fight so you don't have to. Adams Renzi Law. We would also like to thank our sponsor, Morrow Flooring, hardwood, laminate, vinyl, tile, and carpet. You get military and first responders discount. That is Morrow Flooring. You can go to goodcopbadcoppodcast.com, click on his link for more details. All right, welcome back, Mike Dowd. How are you?
I'm great, Mickey D. How you doing?
I'm good. So we're back for another day at Good Cop, Bad Cop Podcast. I'd like to thank all our listeners. We're rounding into the holiday season. We have some good shows coming up. We have a great show today. One of our guests will be a 25-year veteran of the law enforcement community. He retired out of Wayne, New Jersey as a corporal. Let's hear it for Rick Vander Clock. How you doing, Rick?
Good.
Rick is also a liaison and an independent voice for the Blue Magazine, where they reach out to police departments across the country, and you know they're able to give them a voice for the voiceless, because as you know, police officers really there is no First Amendment for police officers. You know, they're the silenced group in this country.
Well, let's get into this. Let's get into that. Now you pissed me off already.
Yeah,
See, all right. So, Rick, welcome, by the way.
How you doing, Mike? Good, thank you.
Now, just to be full disclosure, I have had a relationship over the years, although tempestuous at times, with the Blue Magazine. They took a big risk.
What? What?
Tempestuous.
Dude, don't use words like that if you don't know what.
All right, I know. Listen,
Come on, man.
I studied 500.
Dude, we know who you are.
I studied 500 Words of Power.
Is that what you did in prison?
In prison, yes. I
You
read the book.
studied Thesaurus?
Yes. Yeah.
I had to say that right.
I had to do it. You said that correctly.
Thesaurus?
Well, listen, it doesn't matter how you say it, as long as you know what you mean by it. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. So now you lost my trend of thought. But I have had a relationship with the Blue Magazine, at times beneficial, at times but whatever. The bottom line is this: we've had a relationship. The people at Blue Magazine have been very responsive, and the reason is, and I don't want to go too deep because I'm not the person to answer that question, but I believe that what you pissed me off about, what you're saying, we don't have a First Amendment right, is officers, good ones and bad ones, let's just be honest, don't have a voice really of independence, because
Correct.
If they speak up about what's bothering them or concerns, they get squashed and they get put out to pasture, eventually suspended, terminated, put on assignments that are less desirable. So, Rick, let's jump into that real quick from your experience, all right? So,
Sure.
Never mind the Blue Magazine now, but that's what this is connection. That's our connection to Rick right now, because the Blue Magazine took a big risk many years ago and featured me in it, which was actually an excellent article. Some of it was a little heavy-handed, but the fact that they were willing to do so, I appreciate your organization.
Thank you for that.
So give us a little insight on what you had to deal with.
Well, in my career, I had a situation where I had to respond to a call where I saw a man burn to death in a vehicle. Resulted from a car accident that started from a pursuit.
Okay.
So it was a pursuit, vehicle crash.
So you were wrong.
Yeah. Wrong?
According to the world, you shouldn't have pursued this man.
But Mike, I didn't pursue.
Oh, okay. All right. You understand what I'm saying to you.
Of course.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, cops have to think about everything.
Correct.
In split seconds. Measured and
Monday morning quarterbacks come out of the woodwork.
And you get scrutinized for years for something that you have to make
labeled. How about labeled?
Labeled everything, yeah. So anyway, my story was I ended up having hard time sleeping after witnessing that event. And I've been on the road at that time maybe 20 years. So I had responding to car accidents and being on the road is something I did.
You're an experienced cop.
Every day, yeah. So This one was just a very lot to see, and I ended up having some problems sleeping. A couple days went by. I realized I wasn't getting any better. I wasn't able to sleep. I kept reliving this vision and the smell of the guy burning. It was a horrible thing, you know. And
You didn't take out your steak knife, you know.
God, it's crazy.
So-
you know, people ask. I'll tell you right now. You know, when you witness something like that, when I cook chicken on my grill,
I can only imagine.
That's-
Did you think of it?
yeah,
I'm saying.
So-
That's why I said that. That's why I punned like that.
it's crazy, but it always is in my mind.
Oh,
Always.
Put this in perspective for the audience, who most of them are not police officers. The average person in their lifespan will experience a traumatic event. I don't even believe that traumatic. About 6 or 8 times, I believe, is the average. Now, a police officer with 25, 30 years on will have 800 to 900 traumatic experiences throughout their career. Just to give the audience some kind of point of reference so they can understand. And for something you've seen a lot at this point in your career, your experience as a veteran police officer, to see anybody burn up is horrific. To see somebody that's involved in a car crash, bad guy or not, and you know that you can't help them is a very traumatic experience and horrific. And as you can see, you know, you yourself were having some issues with it. So
It still affects them. Look at it.
To this day.
For real. No, for real. Like it's because you're experiencing it all over again through your brain, and like you can actually smell it when you start.
Yeah.
I could see you was smelling something, not me, but you were smelling something as you was. So go ahead.
No,
So
it's
you
just,
smelled
you know,
this. You're cooking chicken. Never mind that. So now, what happens to you as a result of this? You have some sleepless nights. What's going on?
Yeah, I had some sleepless nights, and after a few days, I decided I had to tell the department that I wasn't feeling right about this, and just that in itself was kind of
What year is that?
2015.
Okay, so
So it's 9 years ago.
yeah, and another thing for our audience, it's difficult for police officers, for one, to step up and say, I need help. And it's really difficult for a police officer to go to their department because not only, I'm not going to say this show weakness, but it could undervalue to other officers and your commanders, like if something's wrong, we not be able to trust this guy. We might have to take him out of work, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're worried about this.
Of course.
So this is what leads the police officers not to speak up. So, you know, good kudos. You got the balls to step up and say something.
Yeah, except my police department did not.
Here we go. The accept.
yeah.
Here we go. What happened? This is my point, okay?
So-
that's why we went right to this.
I opened up Pandora's box in terms of, you know, the chief at the time. I got sent to see several doctors, workman's comp doctor. I went and saw a PBA doctor on the, you know, in addition to the one that the town sent me to. And these doctors both concluded that I had PTSD.
Are you off the street at this point, or are you still working?
I was off the road for a couple months.
So
from
you're
that
working,
incident.
you're still active, still a police officer, but you're putting limited duty inside?
I was yeah, exactly. But the chief at that time felt that PTSD was basically
Bullshit.
like a made up
Right?
bullshit,
Okay.
sickness, like he didn't believe me.
2015.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so-
this is like,
This is what I'm dealing with. So,
Yeah.
you know, my department put me through a whole bunch of tests and fitness for duty exams and a whole bunch of stuff. And I ended up eventually getting suspended. And it was a very hard time in my life. And, you know, the department is...
whoa. You got suspended.
Wait. You asked for help. I'm sorry. I was slightly distracted because someone's outside the door trying to get in. You got suspended for what? For asking for help?
No.
Okay.
I'll clarify that, but I ended up getting suspended, but I had the chief of police that now was focusing on me for every little damn thing.
Right.
Of course.
You understand?
Yeah.
I know that one.
I didn't get suspended because of this.
They found you
particular
didn't have your
incident.
hat on. You were chewing gum in uniform. Maybe you smoked. You had a cigarette. Your shoes weren't shined. They go down the disciplinary list. They call it, you're on the hit list.
Exactly. So I found myself on a hit list, and it was a very tough several years for me. But I did end
several
up getting
years, huh?
suspended.
No one can walk the tightrope. Just believe. No, not the best police officer in the city, the state, the world cannot walk a tightrope because there are so many regulations that you must live by. Of course, I broke every one. I'm not going to lie here, but you know, it became a point. I didn't break every one in the beginning. I was a very rigid, proud police officer when I first started, but you reacted differently to when I was oppressed, when you was held to the standard that no one else was held to. I revolted.
Right.
I became the abhorrent individual that I became because I didn't like I don't like hypocrisy. I hate to. I don't like hypocrites, and that's a lot of what we've just witnessed for 4 years. A lot of hypocrisy. Now you are facing it right in your face. They're making you not chew gum. They're making you comb your hair, shave. I mean, I had a guy had 305 complaints against him, a friend of mine, because they were after him. So that when they brought him in front of the board, the committees, whatever they bring you in front of, the department hearings. Look how bad this officer is. Meanwhile, he did everything everybody else did. Now, go ahead. So what happens?
Well, I learned real quick that the department doesn't help the men when there's a situation like this.
Right.
And I found it very hard for me to want to work there anymore after this whole thing.
Okay. So how long after this incident is your retirement?
I retired over 2 years ago.
Okay.
I did 25. I made it through this whole part of my life, but it was not easy.
So you made it through the suspension.
Yeah, I made it through the suspension.
That's not easy gig.
I went back to work, and then
Not that I know that.
several years later, there was a promotional test coming up, and I took it. And
You're blacklisted.
I got
You
blacklisted.
can't get promoted.
Nah, the department just and there's lawsuits going on and everything like that, so I can't dive deep into it. But,
Okay.
That's fair enough.
hopefully, things get rectified at some point. But speaking for police officers, I have experience in knowing how hard that feeling is to go in and ask them for help, and then when they treat you like that. And then friends of yours see the way that you were treated, and they go, "Shit, I'm not saying a damn word to anybody."
Right.
Look what they just did to this guy.
Yeah.
And I had
A 25-year veteran, not a puppy, just coming out of the academy on probation.
And,
Talk about a guy who's got every reason to have the wherewithal to ask for help and the career statistics and backing to say he's not a problem officer.
Up until that point, what was your career like?
perfect.
Good, right?
Yeah.
You have commendations.
Yeah, and my chief was giving me a problem. I mean, during this time, there was a house fire in Wayne, and I was about 3:00 in the morning. It was snowing, and when I pull up to the house, there's flames coming out the windows, and a guy runs around the backyard to the front. He's in his underwear in the snow, and he's screaming, my wife's in the house." So we run in the back, and I was able to pull this woman out of a window with the fire and smoke coming out and rescue this woman. Me and my partner, we saved this guy's woman, and the department never recognized it, like it never even happened.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not telling you, that's the truth.
What
crazy,
year, what year is this?
This happened in 2018.
So this is after the incident or a little bit before?
This is after the car fire was in 15.
Okay, yeah. So it's after the incident. So this is what we mean about being blacklisted. When you do heroic things, when you're on promotional lists, you seem to be overlooked. Your name, the term everyone knows that is you're blacklisted. You're blackballed. You're not going to be considered because you're a problem officer. And when we say problem officer, you're a problem because you reached out for help. And I believe that's one of the things you guys are doing at the Blue Magazine is you want to highlight for police officers around the country how difficult it is to ask for help. And case in point, God forbid, if you do ask for help, what's going to happen to you? I mean, you were crucified because you reached out. And you're not alone. How many other police officers, and I guarantee you, most cops in 20 years, they have an issue or a problem, throughout their career with things that they've seen. It's PTSD. We didn't know what that was. We knew what it was in 2015.
Yeah.
We're a little bit more educated now. But to act like it's 1940 and your Patton's walking through there slapping the soldier because he's shell shocked. You're not shell shocked. You need help. It's a disgrace. So that's what
It was horrible, and the guy that was making the decisions was 20 years older than me.
Yeah.
So, he was an older school minded person and just felt that was
2015.
So he just thought it was a bullshit thing, and that was the end.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
Yeah, you're a heroic, decorated police officer asking for help for something horrific that you've seen someone burn up in an accident. You're not a coward. This isn't some kind of bullshit that you're making up. It's insane, man. It's absolutely ridiculous. So does this lead you to the Blue Magazine? Is this how we get to where we're at?
After I retire, I met up with the founder of the Blue Magazine, who I had known, but we talked and decided to bring me on board as a another voice for the magazine,
Right.
with contacts and things like that.
So this is personal for you. This is something that
It's
you're
personal,
passionate about.
but so the Blue Magazine has a charity called Moment of Silence, and once I found out about Moment of Silence, I was hooked, because Moment of Silence is trying to stop and prevent police officers from committing suicide, and we happen to know some personal officers that did this, so it was very it was in his heart to try to
Right.
make police departments more aware of guys that are having trouble, and another avenue for police officers to ask for help without getting in trouble with the department. So, and it's really a whole big thing that we're working on right now. And we're building something called a progressive index chart, so we can teach younger cops. We'll take, say, a 25 or 30 year career span. We'll chart it out. We're trying to give officers advice on what they may see and what they may experience at certain times.
Now, do you
in
have
their lives.
statistics on active police officers committing suicide across the country?
It's about one officer every 72 hours in this country.
Jesus. Wow. Really?
Yeah. And
That's a lot.
And we're not talking about retired cops either. And
active police officers. And,
Active
and
police
actually,
officers.
in some years, there's more cops that commit suicide than get killed in the line of duty.
Yeah, well, I say,
Some years.
I've taken this approach to that. More police officers kill themselves in different ways, like driving home drunk.
Sure.
People don't recognize that. That's problem. And the military guys.
alcohol is a huge
And the military guys, they said that there's not 22 a day, there's 50 a day because of the other means of suicide: driving drunk, falling off a bridge accidentally, all the things that happen because of their mental capacity and the situations that they put themselves in, where basically they don't care. So people don't recognize that when people live a life of carelessness, that's basically suicide. I think anybody would know that people that drug abuse or alcohol abuse, it's a form of self-sabotage and suicide. And I would tend to think that it's probably triple what you're saying as far as the actual killing yourself.
Could be Mike.
again, I mean, that's active. We're not talking about retired cops either.
Yeah.
And the drinking is a huge issue that comes from the PTSD. It's something that's always been laughed about. Oh yeah, cops are drunks and alcoholics, but how else do you relieve stress?
Well,
Most cops are trying to stay within the laws of right and wrong. Unlike Mike, we're not going to step outside and snort pink cocaine and shit like that and rob drug dealers.
I swear I wasn't. I swear I was not.
We turn alcohol because that's what's legal, which is probably one of the most harmful drugs in this country.
These doctors.
A little bump and some marijuana is nothing.
Well, the whole marijuana thing was a whole another issue.
It's my audience. They're going to fucking love that. Some guy sending me pink fucking underwear the other day. Is this what you're talking about?
I'd like to thank our sponsors today, Martina White. Friends of Martina White can visit votemartina.com for more information about the work Martina's been doing as a state representative in Pennsylvania. And let me tell you, Mike, she's a big supporter of police. She backs the blue. She's a proven fighter for families, women, everybody.
Is she a patriot? Is she America first?
Absolutely. She encompasses, the American spirit for sure. We have a big population of listeners in Northeast Philadelphia, Southeast Pennsylvania, which would be her area. So you can check her out.
Has she
Martina.
been I'm not familiar with the Philly district. Is she new to the scene, or is she looking for re-election?
She'll be up for re-election in a couple years, but she's been around for a while. She has a proven track record.
Okay.
You can check her out. Her record really speaks for itself, especially when it comes to fighting for everyday citizens and backing the blue.
It's nice to have someone back in the blue. I mean, these officers are out there risking their lives every day, and with little pay and little appreciation in today's environment. It's been very difficult, and as you know, being a Philadelphia guy.
Unfortunately, that's something that's not common. Should be. It used to be a time where both sides of the aisle agreed on law enforcement, and that's something that's completely lacking. But with Martina White, she steps up to the plate, always has our backs, and does what's right.
Great. Good luck with Martina.
Yeah, you can get more information at votemartina.com. I'd like to thank our title sponsor of the show, Adams Renzi Law, AR Law. They can be found at arjusticenow.com. And just to let you know, I know both of them personally. Christy, one of the nicest people you'll ever meet, total sweetheart, absolute pit bull in the courtroom. And Nick Renzi, he's a South Philadelphia guy, true and true, neighborhood man. He's for the people. He helps people out down in South Philly, all around Philadelphia.
Their office is in South Philly itself?
Yes, their office is in right around South Philly, Center City, right on the border.
Do they handle
there.
a lot of criminal cases?
They handle everything, absolutely.
Are they on call 24/7 for someone who might take a pinch somewhere?
Well, Why, you might be taking
Well,
a
I
picture
mean,
we
you
know
never,
about?
you never know. I mean, wherever you show up, you got to be ready.
Well, you can keep their card on you.
Well,
Or
there
go
you
to
go.
their
Well,
website
well,
and
good,
call
good.
them up.
Will they give me a deal since they're sponsors of the show?
You might get a percentage off. I'll have to talk to her.
Okay. Yeah.
If you used them a few years ago, you might have not have gotten 14 years.
Well, that's another story.
Another story for another time.
That's right.
Again, AR Law, check them out. ARJusticeNow.com. We would also like to thank our sponsor, Beyond.O. In today's world, your business is practically invisible if you're not online. With so many options for marketing your business, it's easy to get confused. That's where Beyond.O Creative steps in. They have the expertise to help you with all of your marketing needs. Need a website that wows visitors? They'll build it. Want to reach more customers with Google Ads? They'll make it happen. They'll even manage your social media so you can focus on what you do best. Beyond.O Creative is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau and Google Premier Partner. They're the real deal. If you're ready to take your online presence to the next level, visit beyondocreative.com. That's BIONDOCREATIVE.com or call 267-362-WEB1, Web 1 to discuss your project now. I'd like to thank our sponsor, Morrow Flooring, hardwood, laminate, vinyl, tile, and carpet, military first responder discount. You know, Tommy, we had him as a guest on a podcast. You can get your flooring done by a real American hero.
Yeah, and he's on time and on budget.
Yes, he is. He will beat any price. Bring a quote, an estimate, whatever you have. Tommy will beat it, 100% guaranteed. You have our backing on that one.
And he'll be there himself.
Absolutely. You can get a real American hero do your flooring for you. I get injured in the line of duty. I hurt my knee. I go to city doctors. Same bullshit. Go there. Oh, you're fine. You have a deep knee bruise. Go back to work. 6 months later, my knee's giving out. It's clicking. It's this and that. So I go to my private doctor. I give him the condition. You have a tear in your meniscus. Get checked out. Sure enough, tear in my meniscus. And I learned then it didn't take long, a few years in. I'm just a number. They don't give a shit.
They don't give a
They
shit.
don't give a shit at all. And if you speak up, you get ostracized, like yourself. And that's one of the things I'm passionate about and trying to bring light to is the mental health. As on this podcast already, we've had several. There you go, the Blue Magazine right there, Jersey's finest. We've had several people in here whose main goal is the mental health of military and first responders, such as yourself. Mm-hmm. So, you know, you mentioned your program. How can our audience and listeners help? Where can they go to? And what exactly is the program doing to help officers?
So, well, first off, Moment of Silence is a 501c3 charity. Okay. So it's a tax deductible thing. So we have we always are looking for donations for the program. And upcoming right now, we are in our Santa Comes to Patterson event where we give out wrapped presents to all the children throughout Patterson. We drive up and down the streets.
Nice.
And we have police officers that assist us. They assist with traffic, but they also hand out presents to the kids.
Right, so they see a cop in uniform.
They see a cop in uniform.
They have a connection to presents, right?
And a lot of the officers that partake in this event, you got to remember, we have to wrap 5, 6, 7, 8,000 presents. So we have officers come to help wrap. Mm-hmm. And a lot of these officers are people that had issues in the past and they want to help out and do other things like this. So they get involved. So it's an event for the police officers, but it's also showing the community that police officers aren't so bad all the time. And here we are giving out presents.
Humanizing the badge.
Have you ever had anybody, and
here we go.
This might be a great, look at this.
Here goes a link up on the page. Yeah. You can see right now, this is the link for a Moment of Silence, correct?
Yeah. That's the website right there. It's mosdonate.org.
Very good. I'm sorry. Before I forget, I had to say this because I have to cut people off anyway. But my thing is, have you ever ran into somebody that received a gift and then they became a police officer? That would be a real, you know what I mean? Like the reason I handed this 11-year-old kid a gift and then 12 years later, he's swearing into like the Patterson PD or some state. That would really be a nice thing. In fact, if there's anybody out there that can attest to that,
so I can attest to it. Driving down A Street out of roll call, I cross over Lehigh on A Street, and I see this kid, probably about 10 or 11, double barrel shotgun.
Right.
F you. I said, you know what? Hit the brakes. He takes off, and you know what? He runs right into his house. He's in front of his house.
So you knock on his door.
I pull over. Knock on the door, parents come. I said, listen, not in trouble. This is what your son did. And I thought I was going to get the F off my steps, you pig scumbag, which you normally get down here.
You can.
And really? They call him down. He's hiding upstairs. I said, I want to talk to him, see why he's like that. And he didn't have an answer. It's everyone else in the neighborhood.
Everyone else is doing it.
So we had a conversation, sat in there for 30 minutes. Guess for the rest of that summer until he moved, I got away from him. I'd pull over. We'd have a catch, and it was great. It went from this kid hating the police to we had a 30-minute conversation.
Right now. You know
it's
that,
the
right?
truth.
I'm getting teared up right now. It's very
and it
humbling.
just takes it's
Takes
and
one,
cops
right?
sometimes can be their own worst enemy. I could have looked at it and said, gave him the finger, drove by with a scumbag, but I stopped and and I think police officers today are starting to notice that, and it's going further than it ever has before, to be honest with you. And your Blue Magazine and the Moment of Silence can attest to that, and it's good.
How about yourself? You ever experienced something similar where you've had to run in with someone, but you had the chance to sit down with them? Listen, everybody knows in police work, when you arrest somebody, you're with the person for the next 10 to 15, sometimes 20 hours doing paperwork. You get to know them as a human being after the incident. Have you ever had a regret when you lock somebody up? Give me a little juice. Come on. You're 20-something years.
I mean, when I arrested kids I went to school with.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's not easy.
No.
That's not easy.
It sucks. I went to high school in the same town where I worked, so.
Listen, I called a girl I went to high school with, giving head as a hooker to like some 80-year-old dude.
Did you go next? Were you next?
Yeah. I put her in the L and sent her home.
Did you drive her home?
No, dude, no.
I think when that happens, they invite you in, then what do you do?
Good cop, bad cop.
Good cop, bad cop, Mike.
Come on, that's not so bad.
All right, so we're giving presents out. What else are we doing for this program?
Well, who's going to be there that day? We are waiting. We may have some VIPs that are going to show up that day, but we can't make the announcement quite yet.
Okay.
That's number one.
Justin Bieber?
That's sad. That's a sad case.
He's called out, man.
Yeah.
Got to come out and help the kids.
Yeah.
He should.
Yeah, he definitely should.
Yeah. Couple of them,
So, all right, so we have this big event. What else are you guys doing?
No, you got something going on. You said because you took a lot of shit because of the Trump organization. Before you said in here, you had a problem. Like the magazine took a lot of heat for supporting the president. I mean, what the fuck? What?
Well, so
the police magazine took heat for supporting President Trump. Tell me how and why. Just in a nutshell.
People don't want the Blue Magazine to be political, but the Blue Magazine has to support President Trump because President Trump has been the best for law enforcement.
Well,
correct.
He's been the best president.
Well, if you
for us.
support law enforcement, you should be in the magazine.
You can't not be political when one side says defund the police.
Correct.
You don't have to be political. You support the people that support you.
So, that's the reason. Some people felt that the magazine shouldn't be political, but
it's not.
We're at the point now where we had to take a position, and to back President Trump was easy to do, actually, because he supports law enforcement.
That's all.
Look at the issue at the border. Look at the way police officers are being treated nowadays. They're pouring buckets of water, Mike, your department, NYPD, buckets of water over the officers.
Bricks,
they just stand there?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
What is happening?
That's not what I do.
So
what happened when you came out and supported him? What was the heat?
So, what's that?
Political. We took some political heat, but it was okay. We proudly support President Trump. We're ecstatic that he got reelected, and we're looking forward to law enforcement being treated better starting January 20th.
Right.
So let me ask you. Let me throw this out there, and this could be controversial because I'm controversial. Isn't sometimes the police their own worst enemy? So, I mean, we've had cops in and out of these meetings that have...
From Bad Cop Mike here.
Yeah, well, because I'm going to tell you, I was supported by a lot of cops at one time that actually enabled me. So I have to take responsibility for that part. I used their help to enable me unwittingly to them, right? So that's not fair. But there's a lot of cops that need help from other cops. Like we had a young man here today who's gone through a shooting, right? And he gets arrested. So that means cops are arresting other cops. Turns out that his shooting was a good shooting, but then they turned it into a political act. And instead of cops coming forward to protect him and support him, he basically gets left out in the wind. And these are the things that I'm talking about. When a guy is unjustifiably, when the department clears them. Listen, I don't even like departments. I don't like the term because departments are really about themselves. Let's be honest with each other. Most bureaucracies are about themselves. But as an individual, if a cop has an issue, a problem, a situation, you being a cop, you live the life of being arrested for doing your job. That's the danger of being a cop.
That's what I said.
The minute you become a cop is the minute they try to take the job from you.
I was never closer to getting arrested than I was a cop. You walk this thing, I was like, holy shit, like, I'm on this thin line of protecting law and order, but I've never been closer to being arrested just by doing my job.
Just by doing your job.
Legally.
Yeah. So
legally.
that's why because from my perspective now, because I know it's like to be wrong and not justifiably have the protection that you want. But the guys that are in law enforcement and the community that embraces law enforcement, they should be willing to at least address situations where guys have a problem, an issue. Maybe you locked up a DUI and the guy ended up with a black eye because he banged his head against the door on the way into the precinct a few times. I don't know why he's got a black eye. But now instead of doing a good job and arresting a guy who's going to run over 400 people at a parade, you are in trouble.
All right, so
that I don't get.
You took a lot of heat. So why did you guys have Mike Dowd on your program? Talk about taking heat. I mean, you took a lot of heat for having Mike. I mean, I took a lot of heat for doing this podcast with Mike. He's a controversial figure, especially when you guys had him on the magazine. He wasn't really out in front and out as he is now. I mean, that not many people were embracing him and talking to him like you guys did. I think it was a pretty ballsy move.
Well, Mike's story is unique, number one. But the fact is, the man was convicted, went to jail, went to prison, and did his time. So, in reality, you paid your due. And, God says everybody gets a second chance.
Right.
So, that's why, we decided to put his story out there because it doesn't, personally, I don't agree with what you did, Mike, when you were a cop.
Me either.
I wouldn't live that way, but... No. You did what you did, man, but you paid your price, and so as a man,
I'm a little nervous
we
right
have
now.
to say that's okay.
He's looking like he's still jacked up. He might want to take fucking.
I'm getting old, Mike. Shit.
Yeah, I mean that's.
I'm gonna be 50 soon. That's crazy.
50 soon. I'm 64 next month. I mean,
and that's one of the things I told people. I said, yeah, he was a fucking scumbag. I mean, let's be clear. I said, but
did I ask for all this shit? It's my show.
The scumbag that he is not now.
Right.
And
people change.
Yeah, and if you're a police officer, and I believe in this.
People make mistakes, and law enforcement cops, that's all we deal with is people making mistakes over and over. And we believe in rehabilitation, so why don't we believe in rehabilitation for our own people?
Well, thank you. And that's really why we're in the same room right now, because we're all God's creatures. Hey, I hate to get out there, but we're all God's creatures. We're all living on these waves. We all live in waves now, right?
Yeah.
That's the new thing. We're all on the same wavelength, and we interact in waves. I understand.
And that's, and I believe as a police officer, you need to believe in the system, because if you don't, you're a hypocrite. We lock people up, we put bad guys in jail, but a lot of them get rehabilitated, and they come out and they do the right thing, and they become a productive citizen of society.
In fact, we have one that's going to come in a little bit that was in a very bad situation.
We have another guest that's controversial, but that's why I think you need to look at Mike and give him another shot. He's doing the right thing. He's talking about the dangers of corruptions to police academies across the country. He's a nice guy.
They show the film about my life in every police academy almost every police academy. I get the phone calls because people don't know this, and I've spoken to your boss Dan and a couple of guys at the magazine. I get them all the time, and I try to refer them to you. I can't handle them. You guys have at least something in place for it, but I get them all the time.
Believe it or not, for all the amount of times Mike fucking talks. All the time. He does actually help a lot of people, and you don't know it. He helps out a lot of people. I've seen Mike start so many careers that people are successful now. You think they'd stop and turn around and put the ladder down. They haven't. I've witnessed Mike help a lot of these people. That's just business. Now let's talk about all the police officers calling Mike that don't want to put themselves in the position.
Because they don't know who to talk to.
But Rick did. But and that speaks a lot to Mike's character. And that's one of the reasons why we're all here in this room right now, because we can do a lot of good. We can help police officers and military vets stop
Civilians
from
that
killing
have problems.
themselves.
I
And
handle
civilians.
civilian phone
Yes.
calls because they have a nexus to the whole first responders and the whole effect of being around. I mean, what about the children and the wives of first responders that need to lean on a shoulder?
No.
I'm here for them.
Me too.
The wives. I mean, no.
No, everybody. No, I mean everybody.
Okay.
So, what do we need? What do we need to help save lives? Money, right? So, where can the people go watching this right now to donate? Because listen, $1, $5, if you're a baller and you want to throw 1,000 or two, tax deductible. But we need help. It is going to save lives. So, where can they go?
We have a website. It's mosdonate.org.
Okay, mosdonate.org.
Yes, and that'll bring it to
It's up on
a
the screen
website,
now.
and you can make a donation, and it's all there's a
It's
tax
the
form.
season of giving.
Yes.
Get out there and give. These are people that are underappreciated, underpaid. They have nice pensions, some of them, but they got to get there. And only 1 out of 5 makes it. Remember that. 1 out of 5 police officer makes 20 years.
The job is set up for failure now. So
Oh,
it's
100%. So
it's very hard.
Let's talk about the job here. So you're highlighting in this magazine the New Jersey State Police, which is what, the largest police organization
In New Jersey,
In New
yeah.
Jersey, right?
Yep.
So why should people want to read this?
Well, it's going to give you an insight on the state police, a lot of their specialty units and agents, different divisions that they have.
How many cops are in that? In that
20. I
department?
think they have about 3,000
3,000 cops
approximately.
for the whole state of New Jersey.
That's
Yeah.
my precinct.
Are they understaffed? Yeah, it's pretty wild.
It's the size of my precinct almost.
I don't know if they're understaffed.
Yeah.
We didn't ask them that.
my
but
precinct.
They're they've expanded and changed. Like for example, port security unit is something new.
Okay.
And we got to visit that, and it has to do obviously with terrorism and things coming through the ports and stuff like that.
So what do you think of this guy who shot the executive in Manhattan, huh?
I don't know. I think it looks like it's
Pretty interesting.
they're saying it was a hitman and everything, but I understand
Deny,
they have his face already.
defend.
So
Delay is something. Delay, deny, defend.
insurance. It's
Yeah,
about the,
that's their industry.
health insurance.
Speaking of that, we have some guests here that we're going to speak to later on about the health insurance industry.
Good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought they're here to rob us.
Well, they will. That's why you defend, deny,
Insurance.
delay.
Yes.
Insurance claims there. Yeah.
Insurance, yes. Well,
So yeah. Anyway, getting back to the state police. So we met with the Colonel Patrick Callahan, and he gave us access to all the divisions, including the academy.
Nice.
So we spent the day. We took a ride over there. Got to see the commandant and the new recruits
How
coming
long?
in.
How long's the academy? Is that something like a military boot camp?
About 6 months, I think it is.
Are they living on
Yeah,
base?
They live down there.
That's wild.
Yeah, it was good. So we got a nice exposure to see how a trooper from step one all the way through their career. We get to see it from the academy and all the way up to the colonel's office.
That's
We get to
great.
see it.
And-
Yeah, it was very cool.
And we
That's
can
pretty
read
cool.
about it in the Blue
That's
Magazine.
pretty
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. We
Now-
have interviews and a bunch of
Now,
guys are
where
giving
can
us.
civilians, and everyday citizens who want to, be up on the police culture, can read this? Where can they go? Can they subscribe to the Blue Magazine?
You can subscribe. It's our website.
Okay,
is,
what's that?
thebluemagazine.com.
Okay, thebluemagazine.com. That's where you can go. You
Yeah.
can subscribe to this. Will it be delivered to the house? Can you read it
You
online?
can fill it out. Yeah, they can be delivered and everything like that. And you can also get them at some of your. We have them dropped off at the local.
Oh,
police
nice.
stations.
Oh, you have hard.
So
Okay.
the state police, we're gonna have arrangements to have them dropped off to all of their barracks. throughout
Does
the
it
state.
cost money?
No, we give them.
It's free.
Yeah.
Get out of here. You get a free
You
magazine.
get a free magazine.
There you go.
and what better thing to do when you're sitting in a doctor's office?
But if you want to order it on the website, then there's a fee for that.
A fee for that? Okay, yeah. So shipping fee. I mean,
Yeah,
that's standard. That's great.
Yeah, our sponsors supply them. So we give out the magazine.
Listen, I read the magazine. It's great. I mean, it's questionable that you guys want to put him on the cover, but it is a great magazine.
It was a handsome cover.
You were, dude.
It was a handsome cover.
You were a good-looking guy at one point in your
I
life.
was,
I
yes,
give it
I
to you.
was.
You were a handsome guy. So I think this wraps this up. Remember, what's the page for
For the silent moment of silence?
Moment of Silence?
Moment of silence. mosdonate.org.
Okay,
Thank you very much for that. And any amount is great.
great. So you want to donate? And
We ask for $10.13 a month. You could do a yearly subscription.
That's nice.
So what's that?
$10.13. $10.13. Officer needs help.
Okay, and that's the code for
Officer
Officers help.
Okay.
1013.
NYPD. Actually, it's almost universal.
No, it ain't. Not in
That's
Philly.
almost universal.
Philly's
refuses.
You need some damn help.
Philly
What's
refuses.
Philly screaming?
Yeah. Help me. Help me.
No, they burnt down that whole building, that whole community. What's the
Help
community?
me.
What's the community?
Bomb. The move.
The move.
Yeah.
Move.
Move. It's an assist. I need an assist. That's it.
Yes.
You need an
Assist.
assist. You drop and go.
Rick, thanks for coming on. We really
got it,
appreciate
bud.
you
Yeah,
and your
cool.
organization and all the good things you're doing. I hope that we can help, not hurt your presence. And listen, we're all here to make the world better. That's
Yeah,
it.
we're here to help.
And help everybody else.
Here to help people,
Reach,
help
hand.
cops.
Reach around. They call it reach around.
There you go.
TheBlueMagazine.org.com. TheBlueMagazine.com. You can go to www.Good Cop, Bad Cop Podcast. You can get some good gear. Check out all our socials. You can also get us on Spotify and YouTube. Please subscribe. Hit that button. Help us out. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thanks.
This episode is sponsored by AR Law, PA State Rep Martina White, Biondo Creative, Morrow Flooring, and Pops McCann Whiskey.